Well, good morning, everybody. Hope your Wednesday's off to a good start. Sorry for the late notice about doing this today. I wasn't sure that I was going to do one, but then I realized I was reminded today by one of the guys I ride with that I had to do my live feed. So, and actually today is kind of a special day. So I'll wait just a minute or two. But you hear me talk about forgiveness a lot, and it's one of the things that, hey Danny, it's one of those things when TV used to tell me I had to forget, and move on, I cringe. But the reality is that in order to have a happy and free life, we need to forgive and move on. We'll never forget. But forgiveness is also a process that takes what it takes. Hey, Andrew. So today I posted earlier, and it's a quote from the start of my forgiveness chapter from Steve Maraboli. The truth is, unless you let go, unless you forgive yourself, unless you forgive the situation, unless you realize that the situation is over, and that's important, you cannot move forward. I heard a very famous musician, as a matter of fact, in the rooms one day, he said this. He goes, I was never in a physical prison, but I've lived in an emotional prison for most of my life. And that's pretty much says it all right there, because when we hold on to unforgiveness, we keep ourselves in this emotional prison that's, it's not fun. It's tormenting. And like Steve says in his quote, that the situation ended a long time ago. It's over. We can't change it. So we've either got to choose to stay in it and wallow in it, which I did for 38 years, but I didn't have a way out, or we choose to start the forgiveness process and move on so we have a life freer than we ever thought possible. I'm not going to go into what forgiveness is and what forgiveness is not today. There's a lot of misconceptions about what forgiveness is. And one of the basics is this, that if I forgive this person, place, or thing, that means what they did to me is okay. No, it doesn't. Not at all. If somebody did something to you that's harmed you, it's not okay. And in fact, if they've broken the law, they are still, they still can face, criminal offenses if that's what it's going to be. They have to pay their consequences. The forgiveness is solely for us. So something's going to happen today in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, that I never, ever, ever dreamed of. And I'll briefly say a few things about it until I get permission from the person. But essentially, one of the biggest ways I knew I'd forgiven Jack. Jack died about 4 years ago. And I can remember going on Facebook and everybody talking about Jack, how wonderful Jack was. And Jack was my perpetrator, my stepfather. About how wonderful Jack was. He's such a nice guy. He helped me do this. He helped me do that. I can remember just cringing inside. And I went to a meeting. And I told the guy with 42 years sobriety, not recovery. And you'll understand why when I say this. He was not recovered by any means. He was just sober. He asked me, he goes, Randy, did you go on Facebook? And did you tell everybody what Jack did to you and the monster that he really was? And I looked at him and I go, what did you just say? I go, that's not my business. He just died. He's got family and friends grieving for him. Yeah, it hurt to hear what I was hearing, but it didn't matter because I'd forgiven him and his family was grieving. I had no business going on there at that point in time and being vindictive about Jack. Like I said to this gentleman, he's in front of God right now, and believe me, especially after what I found out last Friday, believe me, I would not want to be him standing in front of God after what he did to me and others. But even more so, at that point I realized, though Jack was that person, kind, loving, caring, helping to all those people, he just wasn't to me. He wasn't to others. But to those people that were talking that way, he absolutely was that person. That's when I knew I had truly forgiven Jack. Now, had I been vindictive that day, had I gone on Facebook and said the things this person said I should have said, in his opinion, which isn't right, then what's going to happen in 2 hours would never have happened. Never. Something happened 35 years ago, and I'm sorry I got to be brief on this. I'm just going to try and touch on it, but something happened 35 years ago, and I leaned over to Kathy and I says, he's molested this person. I can see it. He's molested this kid as well. Jack has. And that's all I said, and I knew it. Through a string of events, I sent a message to a family member 3 years ago, just a little over 3 years ago, and this person just got it on Friday. And it wasn't a kind message. And I haven't seen this person for 35 years. And I'm going to, at 11 o'clock this morning, we're going to sit down and we're going to talk. She wants to know about me. She wants to know about my family. And I know I'm being vague right now, but I have to be until I have permission to say anymore. But what I saw 35 years ago absolutely was true. And that much I can tell you. But I never, ever dreamed of what's going to happen in 2 hours would happen. Never. I'm nervous. I'm excited. I'm emotional. I don't know what to expect. But we're meeting at a halfway point, a neutral point. But all this could have only been orchestrated by God and nobody else. There's just no way. Pastor Obed says when you see a vision, the vision usually comes during the day when you can see it. And I just see this whole thing in front of me right now being orchestrated by God. The feeling that comes with that vision is pretty powerful. So, I know forgiveness is hard for a lot of people, and I understand because I lived in unforgiveness for 38 years. Right? It wasn't right. It kept me trapped. My perpetrator, Jack, probably forgot about me 38 years ago. But yet I kept him alive in my head and replayed the scenarios over and over in my head all the time, just making them bigger and bigger. So you're holding on to unforgiveness. Think about starting to forgive. Some forgiveness is really simple. It depends on the offense that's happened to you. If one of your friends pisses you off during the day and he goes, man, I'm really sorry. That's not me. And I don't know what I was thinking. You can probably forgive him right on the spot. You won't even think about it again. But then there's other things that are really deeply rooted in the fiber of our being and the soul of who we are that get hurt. And those are the ones that are hard to let go and forgive. But I promise you this, if you do, your life will be so much better. That'll be so much freer. You'll be so much happier. So remember that forgiveness, it's a must in life. The Bible tells us we need to forgive. That's one of the greatest commandments. We have to forgive. But I know it's not easy. So just work on it. We can forgive intellectually, real easily, but can we really forgive from the heart? And that's where true forgiveness comes in, when it comes in from the heart. So I wanted to touch on that a little bit today, and as this thing unravels and as I get permission to speak about, I'm just being respectful of this whole situation, which is a change for me, because when it comes to these situations, I usually call it as it is, but I'm going to be respectful on this one. Hey, look, also, if you go to my website, eithercourageoushealers.org or changeyourlifestorynow.com, Topeka and I I've talked about these workshops. You can go on there and you can register. It's a $200, $197 value. We're not charging for the 1 hour workshop. And basically, it's understanding the blueprint of a successful relationship. And this is just going to be an introduction to our 12-week intensive workshop we're going to do. We'll do 6 one-day workshops, and then in between we'll have some group webinar coaching sessions as well. We'll talk about understanding your current core beliefs, where they come from. You'll discover repetitive unhappy behaviors and patterns in yourself and others, and understand why you control conflict from the inside out. Why you control conflict from the inside out. And you'll gain some useful tools like reestablishing healthier core beliefs about yourself and others. And you'll become your true, hopefully you'll work towards becoming your true authentic self. And you'll be able to resolve internal and external conflicts in a healthy manner. So it's a 1 hour deal. But all I ask is that you go to the website, greatesthealers.org or changeyourlifestory.now, changeyourlifestorynow.com. Go to the workshops and just click on the register now, and I'll take you to another link, and you just press yes, I want to come, and that's it. And then we'll probably, and also on that, when you press yes, there's another attachment. Hit that attachment and print it out and fill it out and bring it with you, okay? So we'd love to see you. It's April 17th from 6 to 7 p.m. at Mama's House in Palm Desert. Registration will start at 5:30 p.m. Okay? So remember, nobody tells you they love you today. Randy does, but more importantly, God does. Everybody have a blessed day. Thanks for being a part of my life. I appreciate you all. Love you. Bye.